undisputed, no mistakes are playing big. In the end, you'll all marvel like it's...
Welcome back to everyone to the Mike and Ike Show. I'm Mike, and we're going to go ahead and get started without Mike because he's running late, and I don't know where he is. Welcome, everybody, to Week 11 of the XCFL, and welcome back to the show again, Al.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Love being here every week. Last week wasn't such a good week for me. I went 6-8 overall. I'm 81 wins and 65 losses.
That's not too bad at all. And it's that time again. It's your favorite guy. It's your favorite time of the week, I hope. Good old Dick Dickerson and his picks. We've noticed a lot of people kind of ragging on Dick Dickerson. But I hope, and some of you have, taken it as motivation to prove him wrong. Tweet him about it. Tweet the show about it. That's good. That's part of the fun. So if he picks you as losing and you keep winning, give him crap about it. That's what you need to do. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the game of the week. Sean's Colts versus Boone's precious little Titans. How badly is Boone going to be crying after the loss that he suffers against the Colts?
Hopefully it's not too bad. This being the XCFL Network Game of the Week, Sean's been playing well with the Colts. Very surprising that the Colts have been doing so well. That's a great division, probably one of the best divisions right now. But I think the Colts will take this one, and the Boone, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Boone, he gets very emotional when he loses. It's kind of a vicious cry, like one of those violent cries. You gotta stay away from him.
I don't want to rock the boat too much because I'm playing him next week.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Oh, wow, this doesn't happen very often. We got the Computer Panthers versus the Computer Saints. How do you even predict this game? What's the outcome?
Well, prior to the Saints becoming the computer team, I had the Panthers in this one, and I'm still going to stick with it because it's the Computer Panthers, it's the Computer Newton, but it's also the Computer Breeze now, and I'm not sure, but I got to stick with my predictions, and I'm going to stick with the Panthers here. I think they're going to take this one without a doubt.
Great. And we were just talking before the show that, I actually play the Computer Panthers. It's not fun. I beat them, but they pull out some crazy stuff. And if you watch my recording, the Chiefs recording against the Panthers, there's just stuff that the Computer Panthers does it's not logical. How I won that game, I'm not sure. I just got away with it, and I'm lucky about it. But on this one, I think you got to go Computer Panthers because really, if you look at computer to computer, they're just going to look at the overall numbers. Panthers are really high, so I think they're going to crush the Saints, probably by like 3 touchdowns. But let's go ahead and look here. The Texans, they started really, really strong. You talked about that division, how it's a strong division. But they've struggled the last few games. They do have the Oakland Raiders, which I believe is still computer. So how are they going to fare against them?
Yeah, Texans are struggling a little bit, which didn't surprise me. I thought they would actually struggle a little earlier and be on the winning streak at this point, but it seems to be flip-flopped in the beginning of the season. They are playing a CPU Raiders team, and I at the time I did predict the Raiders to win. They did have the owner at the time, but now they're CPU. So, and like you said earlier, you never know how that's going to go with a computer team, but I predict the Raiders to win in Oakland.
All right, that's gonna be if he loses this game, if Texans loses this game, he's gonna have to do some reevaluation. So I imagine he wins this game. I think it's gonna be close. You gotta watch out for that computer. So you may think that it's a computer game, it's gonna be easy. That's not always the case. All right, we've got a great matchup here: Philadelphia Eagles versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, of course, owner Dan, he's gone for his wedding and his honeymoon. I don't know why you think that's more important than Madden. We're going to have to talk to him when he gets back. So not only is he coming home with the good old ball and chain, but he's also going to maybe be greeted by a victory. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Congratulations to him on the wedding, but again, I feel bad for the sentence that you've just accepted when you said I do. Anyhow, he's on AP this week, and we'll see what happens. Again, it's going to be a computer team against the Eagles. The Eagles have fared well. They've been doing good. They've been on and off. but I predict the Seahawks are going to win this one in Seattle. And I don't understand why he couldn't bring his Xbox with him on his honeymoon. I mean, he's not going to spend all his time with his wife, is he? Really?
Maybe you should get that thing that Mike was talking about and put it on his lap. That might work.
The Xbox Caddy.
I don't know if he's selling that yet, but maybe that would work. I will mention before we move on that the computer Seahawks did beat the Buffalo Bills, Mike's team, and that is a very good team with 7-1 at the time. So you gotta watch out. So if the Eagles is listening, go into that game prepared for a hard game. Let's go ahead and move on here. We've got the Browns versus the Steelers. Is this a layup victory for Commissioner Jim, or are the Browns going to give him some struggle?
Browns looking for some love this week. Unfortunately, they're not going to get it, even though they're playing at home. I think Commissioner Jim's Steelers are just still too strong. He's playing well with them. He did suffer a loss last week, which he thinks could cost them the playoffs, but we'll see. We'll see. I think he turns it around here this week, and this could be the XCFL blowout game of the week. I think so. Steelers are going to take this one in Cleveland.
Yeah, and the Browns have played well. I did see they post something on the forum the other day. I know that they've been playing well. I think this game's too important for Commissioner Jim. Like you mentioned, he's kind of worried about the division. He's got to win this game. So I feel like he's going to win this game, and he's going to win it by at least a touchdown. Moving on here, we've got the Minnesota Vikings, and at one time they seemed to be unbeatable. However, I know that they've suffered at least one loss. Does other teams look at that loss and find weaknesses? Can Arizona, who they're playing this week, kind of exploit some weaknesses, or was that just a fluke loss and Minnesota's going to keep winning?
I wouldn't call it a fluke loss since they did lose to the Bears. Maybe the Bears just caught them at a bad time. Maybe the Bears finally got their stuff together and turned it around. But enough about my team. I predict Minnesota's going to win this one. It's the CPU Cardinals team. I know Nick. He's a good player. He's a good coach. And I think he brings this Minnesota team back together and plays strong. And he'll win in the end against the Cardinals, I believe.
I think you got a good pick there. I believe Vikings are going to win. And I think they'll win easily. We'll go ahead and say it's by 17 points. Big victory. Yeah. All right, we've got a great matchup. The Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals. However, it was somehow not voted as game of the week. I want to recount. This is rigged. But who wins this game?
This one's going to be won by Cincinnati in Cincinnati against Buffalo. Again, I'm going against Buffalo, I know, but this could be part of my evil genius plan to come over the top with my bold predictions that I put out in the beginning of the year before I knew anything was going down. And I think the Bengals, they're a good team. Buffalo's a good team. This was very close to being game of the week, but Cincinnati's going to edge out Buffalo on this one, and I think it's going to be by 3 points.
I like what you're thinking here. I could see a Bengals win. And by the way, just let's take a moment here. We will have a show where we put Dick on the spot. That didn't sound good. But when we put him on the spot and we look at his early predictions before he knew the trades, before he knew everything going on, and if he gets close, I don't know. He's a genius. So we're going to have to take a look at that. I agree, though. Bengals beat Bills. I think they beat them. I could see by 3 points. I could see a close game by 3 points. I could see 17-14 winning. All right, next we've got the Washington Redskins. New owner, brand new owner. He's going to be put to the test with a tough matchup against Green Bay Packers. Do they get their first victory for the XCFL?
Agreed here. It's going to be a tough matchup. Don't agree that they're going to get their first win, but I do believe it's going to be a close one. This one is played in Washington. Green Bay, who's battling for the NFC North. I think they're going to take this one by at least a touchdown.
Alrighty. Next game. Great game to follow here. Who wins, Cowboys or Ravens?
This one is going to be the Cowboys. They're playing against the CPU Ravens team, which, as we've talked about so far, seems like almost every other game here. Dallas is a strong team. They have Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. They have Dez on the outside as a wide receiver. Romo's behind them on the line. They're a good team. It's just that simple. They're a good team, and they're good enough to beat the Ravens this week in Dallas.
Yeah, Jason from the Cowboys, great owner. Respect him a lot. I think he gets a victory here. I think he gets a victory by 14. By the way, a little plug. We are looking for owners, so make sure you tell your friends, join the XCFL. Next, we have the Patriots. They've got, I think, personally, a layup win. I'm going to go ahead and say a layup win against the 49ers. You going to agree with me, or what do you think about this matchup?
I have to agree with you. The Patriots, I mean, you can almost pick them every week to win. They're a great team. They got a great coach. And especially against the 49ers, you never know if they're going to show up or not. And I don't think they show up this week again either. I predict that the Patriots fly out to San Francisco, handle business, and beat them up pretty good.
All righty, drum roll, please. The Bears started 0-6. They are now 3-6 off 3 straight victories. Do they make it 4 against the Giants this week?
I would like to think so. I would like to hope so. I always believe in my team and my guys. Again, before I knew it was going to be a CPU team, I did pick the Giants to beat us. You know, of course I want to win. Of course I'm going to pick my team every week. But as far as the predictions go, Giants are going to beat the Bears in New York. It's that simple.
All righty. Los Angeles, talk a lot about it now. They got football again. But that doesn't necessarily mean they got winning football. Will they beat Miami?
I think they do. I think they get it together. I believe Gurley is still there, if I'm correct. I haven't really been able to keep up with a lot of the trade talks and what's real and what's not real and who's just playing games. But I think the Rams take this one over the Dolphins. I think they win by 13.
All right. Yes, I do believe Gurley's still there. The Rams have a fantastic owner, prior winner at the CFL. I don't know exactly how he's doing with the Rams this year, but I do know he's won some games, and I think he's going to win this game against Miami. I see him winning easily, a couple touchdowns. All right, quietly, we have the Jaguars, probably the best defense in the CFL, and I think statistically, if not the top 2, the top defense. You've picked a lot against them, Dick, and they are not happy about it. Are you going to give them a win this week, or are you going to pick them to lose again?
Davey and his Jaguars. He's ridiculous. I mean, he came at me on Twitter this week, and he tried to, oh, you picked me this to lose when you had me picking to win. That's part of the game, man. It's part of the game. Just deal with it. I mean, if you don't like my predictions, you finally came out of your shell and said something about it. But in the long run, buddy, you're 8-1. You're doing a great job. I think the Lions take you down this week in Detroit. Look out, Davey. Lions are coming for them Jaguars.
You've heard it here first, people. You've heard it here. I hope you're listening. All right, finally, we get to our last game. My Chiefs versus ARV's Bucks. It's going to be a good game, I think. Who's going to walk away with a victory, though?
ARV played the Bears last week. He lost, unfortunately. It was a closer game than that score looked, as I mentioned online on XCFL networks. But I think your Chiefs at home are going to hand another loss to the Bucks. This was also up for the running for Game of the Week. I'm not sure how it didn't make it, but overall, I think your Chiefs take them, and I think you take them by at least 10 points on this one.
Ooh, I sure hope so. I feel like it's going to be
no
close.
Pressure.
That's weird. I swear I heard something in the studio, but Mike just walked in. Mike, did you hear that? Oh my gosh, it's actually coming from the other studio room. Let me turn on the mic and see what's going on.
You got a script, or we just going on the rip? Alright. I spit a freestyle, all the while I predict the XCFL games in perfect pro style. I might hate, but I never profile. Don't discriminate, don't mess with my league's fate. Find yourself erased off the game. Been doing this since 88, don't be late. I don't hesitate, hit sticky with the weight. I'll chew and brew your pussy ass. Bitch done fucked up. You got sketches on your eyebrow. XCFL, don't mess around with your fucking clowns. Run you out your own fucking town. Catch me while I'm lit. Used to flip for the grip. Keeping them wet, never spit. Keeping it tight. Take flight like MJ on summer nights. Winning it back to back. I'm 36, still flipping bricks. Rocking MJ's kicks. You got retros, well I got OG shits. Yeah, that's my kicks. Have some respect for Jim McMillan's projects. You my proof like 151, always telling the truth, never lie. I'ma rest when I die, always be neat, stay fly, stay on my grind. See you on the gridiron in between the lines. XCFL prime time.
Who knew we had so much musical talent in the XCFL? Y'all better not be expecting me to go bust in a song anytime soon. Well, let's bring in one of our newer members of the XCFL. Welcome to the show, New York Jets owner, Bano Jr. Before he comes on, I want to mention what a fantastic addition he's been to the XCFL. We've actually been wanting to have him on here for a while, but we knew he'd get better and better and that he'd continue to improve his team and continue to do things for the XCFL, so we thought I'd wait a little bit, and we got him on now. He not only plays sim, but he clearly has devotion to his team, and he's willing to put in that time and effort to see some long-time results. And that's what we love to see here in the XCFL. These are the types of coaches we want to see in the league, so anyone that's thinking about joining or anyone that's recently joined, this would be someone to look to as how you do it the right way. Sure, everyone wants to win. Everyone's got passion. Everyone loves Madden. But to take a loss and to still be active and to come on the show, that's pretty impressive. And I personally really like his long-term future, and I like the way the team's going. I feel like they're going to be someone that's going to compete. So welcome, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Ike, for welcoming me on the show today.
Well, those of you that don't know, Coach Bano is in charge of his favorite team in real life, the Jets. So is it any different coaching the team you're a fan of in the NFL as far as wanting to make trades or how hard you take losses?
Well, as far as trades, I really didn't make any trades besides with the LA Rams. I traded DeVarrell Vivas for EJ Greens. And for taking losses, I'm kind of used to it. I'm a New York Jets fan. But I just hope to practice and get better for next season.
Great. I haven't met a ton of Jets fans, so I give you credit for that anyways. And it's hard sticking with your team in the hard times, so I give you credit for that as well, and being open that things are going to get better long term, especially in the XCFL as well. Things can change really quickly. Let's go ahead and look here. We've got halfway through the season, and you're sitting at the record of what you're currently at. You got several divisional losses. It looks like Bills are going to run away with your division. They're currently, I think, 7-2 or so. With no chance to win the division, you got a pretty minimal to low chance to win any type of wild card. What's your focus for the rest of this season of the XCFL?
My focus right now is just maybe try and win a few more games yet, and we've been really close in the previous weeks, and just game plan for next season. Keep guys healthy and just have fun.
Yeah, I think every single one of your games has been close, including the one that you played my Bills. I mean, if I remember right, you were winning that game until about halftime, and then the game just took a weird turn, and that's kind of how some of your games have seemed to go. But you're always in them, and one of these times you're always going to be in them and you're always going to win them. So you're currently 16th in yards offensively. So why don't you give a brief overview of your top performers on offense so far?
Well, my top wide receiver right now is Brandon Marshall with 37 receptions and 669 yards. And Brian Fitzpatrick has 2,033 passing yards and 9 passing touchdowns.
Alrighty, great. Let's go ahead and look at defensively. You're allowing the 9th most total yards defensively. So, you're allowing a lot. I didn't get a chance to see maybe more running or passing. Didn't get a chance to see that. But, give a brief overview of your top performers on defense and who's doing the job as far as defense that you'd like to keep.
Well, Calvin Pryor has showed a lot. He's leading tackles and interceptions. He has 59 total tackles and 2 interceptions.
Well, it looks like your next 2 games after your bye are against the Patriots and the Colts. Both decent matchups there, easily winnable. The Patriots has really struggled this season so far. So how do you see your Jets matching up with these 2 teams?
I think we'll be just fine. The Patriots are one of our bigger divisional games, and the Colts we should play good against them. But I believe what has been proven many times is anything can happen in any game.
Yeah, I think you got a great point there. Mike said earlier too that you've been very close in these games, so we all know how that works. It can sway both ways, so it might even be just a couple pieces, and then you're seeing a lot more wins, which is why we're going to go ahead and do the difficult question. What are your plans to improve the Jets? When you think about it and you're so close to these games, what do you think is the most significant position that you could fill in free agency or the draft that's going to be coming up this next offseason that you really feel like is going to make a big difference for the Jets?
Well, I'll be looking to get my running game stronger. Positions I think we would need to improve on are a running back, maybe a tight end, and some linebackers, and maybe some offensive line positions.
Yeah, I think having Forte be your number 1 back is really killing you. Maybe in real life he does well, but that doesn't translate to Madden. He's sluggish, he's slow, he isn't overly elusive or anything like that. So I think Forte, really brings you down a little bit. So I think with a good running back, maybe if you draft one or find one in the free agency, I think you're going to be a completely different team in terms of the run game. But thanks for stopping in, Bano. And we definitely wish you and the Jets luck on improving this team to make them a contender next season, and hopefully have a little more fun facing my Bills twice this season. So thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks, Mike. It was a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on the Mike and Ike Show.
Well, folks, that's all we have for everybody this week. Good luck on your games, your Week 11 games, your Week 12 games. Ike from Mike and Ike Show, we're signing off.
I spit a freestyle all the while I predict the XCFL games in perfect pro style. I might hate, but I never profile. Don't discriminate, don't mess with my league's fate. Find yourself erased off the game. Been doing this since 88.
We are better than them. We had the best commissioner when his name's Jim. He don't get caught up in that cheese, cause he's always watching you, and you should know. He even watches when you sleep, and if you want to join the XCFL, then brother, you had better keep it in. In other leagues, they try to be like us.